very often indeed. So
You actually sweat more than you thought when you play games, right? When things get really
no,
intense.
when things get intense, you know,
Yeah.
we're kind of like the outlet for that energy that all these players can put out on screen there. So if we don't sweat, that means that the player's not playing hard enough.
That is actually very true. I agree. It's gonna be a sweaty night for these players.
Oh, for sure.
Phase 2 has kicked off officially. We're going to Bermuda for game number 1. Again, these 12 teams would have to play against each other like a broken record for a total of 36 rounds across 6 days. Plenty to go around. And right off the bat, I think we've already seen a kind of like a early combat.
Yeah, so I think one thing is going to be very interesting to observe here is how these teams are going to adapt to this new sort of lineup where, you know, the top teams are no longer here. You know, the top kind of killers, especially the high squads, they're not going to be around to kind of like be a threat on the map anymore. So now because it's going to be everyone else here, I think it's going to be a lot more of seeing how these kind of teams adapt to the new information they're going to be getting, the new sort of like aggressiveness or lack of aggressiveness. Sometimes we can see there's certainly a lot of aggressiveness go around for Nero though, but unfortunately he gets knocked down for a close shot. Jembo taking out both Call and Ozzy in the meantime. That's a fight against First Raiders there at the moment happening outside of this one here, but Dewa continuing to try to hold their ground here. They still have the man advantage against MTH though. They just need to be able to knock down another one here. They will probably be able to win this one out. Unfortunately, Dewa had to lose 2 of their members though, so that leaves Renz and Rain now trying to stabilize this fight.
It's going to be pretty tough for Dewa United Esports because their fallen players are so far in the front lines. There's no way to recover them, so Renz has to kind of make something happen. MDH, on the other hand, has the liberty, has the luxury to bring Nero back up. Hong An will also be given the same treatment, so Dewa United taking an early L, losing already Virus, who is gone. Bams is also out. Dewa United left with 2.
Yeah, they managed to get a knockdown now. Rez is trying to peel out of this fight. Unfortunately, Don't Cry catches him just as he got out of the house. Now he's forced to fight. Unfortunately, standing his ground didn't quite work out for him, though, as he will get eliminated in quick succession here. Dewa, fortunately, do have an insurance, though. I think another member of them managed to escape the fight right now, so allowing it's going to be Bams, actually, who just revived just in time for this. And Rain is still on the ground as well, so he's allowing Dewa to come back to this fight, though, after losing that one to MDH there, they're surely going to be a bit behind.
This really feels like the very first game of phase number 1 where the moment the teams drop, it is just full-on gunfight. We saw Farang having members taken out. Axis, they did lose Neptune early on, but he was also revived. Just a lot of skirmishes happening. You kind of see Expand also making that early move, but they are pinned. Unfortunately, Roy getting spotted out by Anxiety at Rimnam Village, completely alone. There is a high-tier loot zone, but that's also where Anxiety loves to head towards. So Expand should be expecting this one.
Should have been expecting that one there for sure, and Expand yet again going for a more split strategy there, and we only see one member on ground in the port there, which is kind of a bad spot to be caught out in. Meantime, Flash lost a couple of members on the ground at the moment. King of Game is trying to get a good trade from this fight here, but you got Yanbin still stuck around the outside there, not looking likely that King of Game is going to be letting him go anytime soon. But we see Bloody also trying to make a maneuver around the side of King of Game, is almost getting caught out there as Osaka spots him on the hillside. Now he's going to be giving chase here to Shin, see whether or not he can cut off the rest of Flash before they make that flank. But frankly, I think Flash has already lost quite a bit in this fight right now. He will surely be able to bring back Yanbin. I'm not sure about Bao, probably a little bit later down the line there, but surely this might be a good opportunity for them to just peel out this battle and not pursue it anymore.
We actually saw a lot of Flash on that kill feed, right? Whether they're getting takedowns or not. KOG though, having a dream start. 4 eliminations, they did lose 1 member, but that should be easily taken care of. Just go to that buy point vending machine and get him back. Farang also getting 3 for themselves, but they did suffer 2 losses in the process. That's a buy point right there for Zhenbao, so no problem. Everything is going to be A-okay. Now we kind of get that break in between. The teams finally decided, you know, we're going to slow down. Can't really say the same for VGM. You know, they might run into Sem9. These 2 teams are literally in first and second, and Sem9 will be the first one that takes contact.
Oh, that's a good one there, though. Sem9 taking a little knockdown there temporarily onto Ban, but he managed to get himself back up. Yeah, he got a revive shot just in time there, so that he was able to put up the glue walls to defend himself. But a Trouble is going to be able to catch him there. Newbie with a hand of God there, ensuring that Bant is not going anywhere anytime soon. VGM now completely tied up in this fight now. Can Sem9 find even more knockdowns? side as they managed to catch out Vantan, trying to use the glue wall to prevent a momentum, the bike knocking him over, but the shots are still coming true. Vantan is on the ground now. VGM still have 2 remaining, but they're going to be met by another member of Sem9 who's just outside on the blue zone.
I think VGN have to try to fight their way out. There is no way to escape from this crunch. It's gotta rely on brute force, but they've expanded so much of that utility. The spawn fires being thrown on as well is ring around the rosy alongside this one lone blue wall with Vickery having the health advantage, and he's gonna get that final knockout. VGM not having a start for themselves.
I mean, the bonfires even stack to begin with? Like, why put down 3? I mean, let alone 2. So, oh my goodness, that probably did not work out for the best there for VGM, but it was definitely a desperate time. But Anxiety now comes into the fray there, hearing the shots coming to the north of them from that high-tier loot zone. Now they're going to be coming in to see if they can pick up some scraps, but no, the glue wall came on a little bit too close there, forgot to be. Fortunately, he was able to put the time turner just in time to keep himself alive there, but now he's going to be stuck on the outside. ZenOP now moving in with the motorcycle, getting a knockdown on one of the members of Anxiety, now trying to stabilize this as he picks up Newbie. Raja continuing to try to shoot on here, trying to keep the rest of Anxiety away from his teammates now, but we're already seeing knockdowns coming onto Anxiety's side. Sem9 further on, continuing to try to keep themselves in this fight.
I think this fight is done for Anxiety. They have no way of winning this one, but Sem9, you thought that they don't have time to recover, but it didn't feel like it mattered, right? After the fight against VGM, they just took out Anxiety. Huge props to Newbie though. We saw that nade fly over Toby's head, but it was aiming for Kanoho the entire time. That kind of felt like a cinematic shot from the Matrix even. But Sem9 having the absolute dream start. This is the roster that we criticized so much in the recent major, the Season 4 major. And they got a little roster swap. They bring back the OG Sem9 roster, mixed in a bit with, with Fikri, mixed it in with, I believe, Raja and Fikri. And right now, they look like the most solid team to start off this round.
I mean, it certainly makes sense for them to try to go aggressive for the first round. I mean, they do have a significant lead over everyone else. It's just V-Gaming Esports that they're really trying to race against when it comes to this championship here. So it's really good that now they've already dispatched like 2 squads in a row now.
One of them was V-Gaming, right?
Yeah.
That's the team in the second place.
Exactly. So really, this is as good as a start you can basically hope for. Now the thing is whether or not to be able to sustain this kind of momentum in the future rounds. But nevertheless, it seems like Bermuda just might be the ticket here for Sem9 to extend their lead.
You love seeing it as a Sem9 fan. It take them a while, but just remember, 3 months ago, Sem9 was one of the most underperforming teams in the region, at least locally. But right now, they do look like the favorites, or at least the most dominant one to kick off. It's early to say, though. We still have so much more days to go through. But if Sem9 can keep this up, just even get those average points per round, I think you would see them in Jakarta, and that would be a big boost to some of these players who have always came so close but not make it to the finishing line.
Yeah, at least it is the second phase here, so there's still another shot here for Sem9. It seems like they're making the most of this opportunity here. Expand has already regrouped, and now they're currently in the siege against Heavy in this the north of Pochinok. And now we can see Expand trying to move into a new position here before Heavy decides to send troubles their way, forcing them now to turn around in here and see whether or not they can catch Heavy before they decide to make the move. Unfortunately, Heavy already has Tom XT up in the next floor here, trying to see if he can get a high ground advantage against Expand here, and hopefully give enough information here for Heavy to coordinate their movements. But for now, Expand does have a much more spread out positioning though, so they are certainly going to be able to meet anyone that decides to come out into the field. This means that Heavy has to play the hide-and-seek game.
Heavy knows a lot of where Expand is. Thanks to me now, he is peeking through that window. Saw a couple members of Expand, but on the other end, Deva United runs into Axis. And Axis, they're just getting a wipeout right now. 3 members of Deva United already down with Virus, the last one alive, and he is quickly dispatched, deleted from the system. Axis gets a 4 elimination streak.
Yeah, that especially hurts for Dewa though, because remember, they had to revive half the team back after losing their fight to MDH, so this is just further kicking them back onto the curb now. So looks like it's going to be next round for Dewa United to see if they can pick up the pace yet again. King of Gamers have just sustained a knockdown onto Kevin there, so 3 members of King of Gamers now scrambling to try to see if they can spot out the rest of Flash. They do have the high ground in this case though, but not so much in terms of information, at least when it comes to Flash, because they're using this terrain to their advantage here. Shin unfortunately had to to run a little bit on the outside because the blue zone is already close on the warehouse where he was waiting at the moment. BO sends a trouble, doesn't
Nice
quite
time
meet
turner.
it. Good timing on that time turner there, so that allowed King of Gamers to continue sustaining this fight. But then BO has already made it up to the top. They've already got another knockdown onto Oscar now. Kevin is now back into the fight, but then he's facing so much pressure from all directions. He gets the second knockdown now with Shin taking the shot.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2 versus 2. King of Gamers, Osaka right to the target. Bio goes down. Shin also taken out. It's going to be Scar to kind of clean out Oscar. Saving KOG, keeping them in the round. And the best part is Kevin, most likely, even if he goes down, will be revived. 8 points so far for KOG. Heavy on the other end, finally engaging with Expand. It feels like Expand is the one that decides to take the first move. First point of contact. Me now goes down to Roy with the Charge Buster in hand. And this is not going to be easy. On the other hand, Neptune Axis, who just finished off Deva United Esports, runs into MDH, and Neptune loses the first contact. They did get a trade with Flame taking down Nuke, but Heavy and Expanse fights continue. They were able to bring me now back up. Roy running in with the Charge Buster, blocked by a good glue wall. Heavy saving their fortress, at least for now, but Expand looking to continue that assault.
Yeah, I wanted to see exactly what's going on with Axis right now because, you know, they won the fight earlier on against Dewa. Now with MDH, you know, just coming to their position here, they really are looking for a fight. We got King of Gamers also getting to the mix as well. So this is getting very crowded right now on the eastern side of this circle. In the meantime, the fight still continuing between Heavy and Expand as they seem to have them locked up on the outside here. The glue walls just literally piling on top of each other here, making layered defense. And right now, Expand just spending a lot of these blue walls trying to keep Heavy on their toes here. Heavy force as well to put out Budai on the outside there, trying to bring shots, but the glue walls not making it easy at all for him to acquire targets. But then right now, with another knockdown there on the Heavy, Expand might just have the man advantage, but they need to extend it even more. Unfortunately, had to take a bit of a breather right now to get the healing in, but they gotta watch out because King of Gamers still lurking around. They definitely are hearing these gunshots. They know a fight is breaking out. Now it just need to see who's gonna win it out. Is it Heavy or Expand?
And they are all running dry. We saw so much glue walls. Budai actually has 10 more glue walls with him, as First Raiders Eclipse will be out. Heavy sustaining a lot of injury thanks to KOG sniping them from long range. Budai deciding that this fight is done and dusted. Expand only good for 3, but 3 is enough for the price of so much resources. I feel like the eventual winner to a certain extent is Heavy because they still have some utilities in the back. They're just gonna get away from this compound, whereas for Expand, able to snipe Oscar from afar, Cobra, making sure the KOG gets the message to not interfere. Expand, still keeping 3 of them alive.
I'm really interested to see what Farang is planning here because they still have 2 members left and they're just literally on opposite ends of the circle. So I'm thinking they're trying to go for a very ninja-like strat here to try to make it to that final circle and probably go for placement points. Good shot there by JLX to take out that last member of KOG. So now, well, sorry, not KOG there. But then we'll see how he's going to continue on here as we ride aboard with Cobra from Expand. Now remember, they were down to 3, now they're down to 2 here, losing 2 fast somewhere in that process.
KOG, they're slowly encroaching on this compound. A good shot to Buffalo. Exo covering the flank, giving Cobra a lot more breathing space to work with. Heavy still in the game. You have Sem9 in the circle, but they can easily gatekeep this one. Budai on the ground as well. Me now the last one alive. He cannot retrieve his teammate, and he knows that all these windows are basically death zones. Thankfully for Budai, he was able to get himself back up on his feet with Expand. Still kind of searching this building, trying to look for the last remnants of Heavy. This could end up in both teams sustaining heavy injuries. Cobra, he's out in the open. He wants to get to safety. But me now, he leaves himself behind and gets an easy pickoff.
Yeah, he's definitely going for placement now, given that he is the last member of Heavy still alive. The next circle is going to be quite a bit close to him, actually. So might actually be in his interest to try to find that last member of Expand, because the Axel is now making a break for it. He has him on the side. Can he get a shot?
What?
Yes, he does. No, he does
Just
not.
KOG.
He got kicked out by KOG, who spotted him from the outside. So that third party that KOG was setting up finally paid off there as they eliminate Heavy from the scene.
Sem9 and Axis, the only 2 squads with the whole team alive. KOG is a 3 versus 4 scenario. It feels like they have to get through the kind of the barricade of Axis first, unless Axis runs into Sem9. But with how the circle is, I think Axis will take contact. No. Flame, good one. The prone shot out of sight, and they will now push KOG. How do they respond though? All those grenades getting thrown out. KOG running for the hills, running for safety in the building. They do make it in, but now it puts themselves in the center with Sem9 just overseeing everything that is happening. You love to see this as an MCP fan with Sem9 and Axis in the top 3. Zen OP goes down. Kevin gets a shot. Elimination. Sem9 14 on the board and still going.
Yeah, this was putting their weight on the thumb there in that fight between KOG and Axis. So now Axis has a bad advantage now, but then they unfortunately also spot Sem9 at the same time. So they're going to have to fight a fight on two fronts here. Grenade's going to come. Is it going to land on JJ? Not quite. Just lands outside on the blue zone there. Newbie trying to find a good angle here. Not able to find a way to keep Axis suppressed. But KOG down to 2 members. They're extremely under pressure now, knowing that they really want Axis to just continue to fight Sem9 while they continue to stay out of trouble. But now we do see Kevin trying to make a move from the outside. He's going to get spotted by Neptune, who sends a trouble his way. Kevin now falling back to the defenses here. But then now we are in the final phase here, boys. The last circle, and look at the stack that Axis is trying to do. They're trying to get on the high ground here just so they can continue to fight against M9.
Sem9, best possible position right now. The Blue Wall Mountain will expire very soon, but it does prevent Axis from setting up shop in the open ground. And look at Sem9 eating up so much of the space. Axis getting shot at. KOG forced to fight their way for survival. This is just an unfavorable fight for the teams, aside from Sem9, who are now pushing that advantage. They're running into both Axis and KOG. Fikri taking first contact. Neptune now against JLX, but Neptune wins. Vegeta somehow takes down Fikri. Axis might have a good chance. They've evened the playing field. Fikri not able to be retrieved. Raja also now in combat, but he is able to win that one now against Vegeta as Axis gets knocked out. KOG to follow, and Sem9 with 16 eliminations gets the booyah to kick off phase 2.
Well, just like that, they are going to be extending their lead so far. And, you know, the extra cherry on top was the fact that they eliminated V-Gaming Esports very early on during this round. So that's a lot of points that V-Gaming was not able to get during this round itself. So Sem9 very much solidly keeping themselves in position 1.
What happens when you put the OG Sem9 and a bit of X-Geek fam together? You get this super roster. And I think this is going to make the narrative so much interesting, right? We talked about expand